Hey y'all, what's up? This is Eric the Cosmic Wizard. Welcome back to Cosmic Tarot. And this is just going to be a, whenever you find it, general message, whatever your sign is. Aries, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, Pisces, Taurus, Cancer, Scorpio, Sagittarius, anybody. Y'all, I just want to say, trying to make 12 videos is really hard a week. When you have a full-time job, and the job that I currently have, it's really stressful for me right now, and I'm trying my best to focus on that, and I don't want to give this up, and I feel like it's just hard for me to like navigate this channel, do that, and still keep up with like, you know, my regular life. I'm not utilizing my time, I'm not being balanced. I'm out of alignment with myself. And honestly, the reason why I really want to do this reading is because I just want to kind of want to just like vent and maybe just talk. But also I do want to pull some cards. And I feel like maybe some of you guys are feeling this way. Like this rush of energy to do something, but not having like a specific channel or like somewhere to funnel it. Like, I guess for me, I guess I could say I could funnel this with YouTube or the Empress here. Yeah, I think we need some nurturing. We need to nurture ourselves. I am tired. I have not been sleeping a lot. I've gotten maybe like 10 hours of sleep these last 3 or 4 days. And it's just been really difficult. And I'm not trying to like guilt or make it seem like that. I don't want you to feel like anything like that. I love reading for you guys, death. So there's a transformation. And I think that's what is so tiring, because when you change, you have to rest, right? In order to like a butterfly in a cocoon, you know, you do a lot of activity as a caterpillar, right? You're all over the world eating all the leaves and stuff. But then to sit in that chrysalis, that is so hard for me, because I think of my, just like my mental health right now. It's very like, maybe you all can relate to this, but it's like I don't do well with sitting in silence or sitting in rest. I feel guilty. I feel like I need to be doing something. I feel like I'm letting people down if I'm not doing something. I have attached my self-worth to how I show up in the world, and that's very unhealthy, and I'm learning to reprogram that thinking to say, you know, I am valid no matter what. If I make quota or not, if I load a video or I don't load a video, if the video gets 10 views or 5,000 or 20,000, whatever, it doesn't take away from who I am as a person. And I think that's something that we all, if you're watching this video, maybe that's something that you have been trying to work on. And I have the Nine of Cups here, and I have a Tower card here. So there is a wish fulfillment. And I think what it is, and the way I'm reading this is, you are getting what you want. You wanted something to come. You wanted life to be different. You wanted things to change. In the Tower here, I think this is you accepting that the thing that you really needed to change was your mind. You needed to defeat the ego, the egoic mind that holds on to fear. So it's not necessarily something being taken away from you. It's not that your life is going to be completely uprooted. Like, ooh, like it's just, you know what, the way I show up, the way I feel about certain things, I'm not allowing myself to honor my own feelings and rest. So if you need help with like, you know, setting boundaries, I feel like the Nine of Cups can also speak of someone who like doesn't necessarily have strong boundaries. And the only reason why I'm saying that is because the Nine of Cups is all about what you desire and what you wish for and what you want, right? And so we tend to be very like guarded about that, because we don't want people to necessarily like know everything, so we don't have people ruin it or whatever. Like, you know, oh, I don't want to tell everybody what I'm doing because I don't want anybody to, send me their negative energy if they don't like me or whatever. But I think there is this call to be more, I want to say open and guarded. It's like just being more selective maybe, but knowing that like there are people who care. I care. I don't know you, but I care. Yeah, the Page of Wands. I think right now it's time for you to, Page of Wands in reverse. I feel like this is a time to like do some inner reflection and not to act out. There could be people coming up who trigger you. Like, for example, right? So I was talking to somebody and just like the way they communicate, sometimes it's a little unclear. Yeah, the Knight of Swords and the Devil in reverse. Someone here, there's an entity, Lord, person, somebody. I feel like you need to move away from this. This is like communication that is not rooted in love. This is from fear. This is from ego. This is someone who wants to hurt you. Somebody who sees you as a victim. This could be you. I feel like this could also be that critical mind that is super highly toxic sometimes. And maybe we need to relook at the word toxic, right? And I think that there's a difference between being critical and just being like unkind to yourself. So I think that this reading is mostly about us as an individual and how we can show up more authentically in our own lives by honoring what we desire. But there's also like this the communication style needs to change. The internal monologue is not, and that's not just I'm looking at you, but I'm talking to me. So this isn't like me calling anybody out. This is me honestly just airing out what's going on within my own world. Three of Cups here. Yeah, so like there's a need to be more merry. There's a need to celebrate more. There's a need to just be more jovial, lighthearted. I feel like for a lot of us here, we may be taking things a little too seriously. We may be looking at life a little too hard. Like I'm over here like all like, hey, I'm serious. When like yesterday I was all goofy and stuff. Like I'm telling you, like Pisces energy right here. I'm telling you, this is just me, like just bouncing off the walls one day and then super low energy the next day, and it's like it gets on my nerves. So I can only imagine what it would be like for a partner. It's very, it's probably very like inconsistent to somebody. Like I can be a little neurotic, I feel like, and I know that about myself. Six of Swords over the Death card. You could be like, this is a very hard change for you. Yeah, but you did it though. You're doing it. It's a process. The Seven of Swords. Yeah. So here's the thing. Here's the crazy thing. Your subconscious, there's a part of you that is lying to yourself. That's the deceptive. And I don't feel like this is someone being deceptive towards you. I feel like this is your inner mind. This is you. And look at the shadow, right? Look at the shadow. It's someone smirking high. I mean, it's just a wolf. But the shadow is someone who looks, malicious a little bit. And the wolf is just kind of like, it almost looks kind of scared, right? Like, I mean, or a coyote or whatever it is. The fox, the cleverness of it. So I think our brains, our ego, it is so clever that sometimes it will gag us by giving us what we want, but still we don't feel fulfilled. Or maybe this wish fulfillment in some way that you think that you wanted is really just a ploy to get something else that you could have gotten in a more excitable way. So what I mean is like, I'm trying to convince myself to continue to be in a position at this place, but I feel resistance when it comes to wanting to actually do the stuff. And so sometimes I take that to mean it as, okay, well, this is an obvious no. You shouldn't be doing this. When really, it's my inner dialogue saying, you're not good enough. You don't deserve this. You're an imposter. You're not that. You're something else. And so I look at that resistance not as it being like illusion, a fear, false evidence appearing real, as being something that is not true. But I take that and say, well, if this is hard, then maybe that means I'm not supposed to do it. But that's not what it means. What it means is, what is it within yourself that sees this as something that you aren't able to achieve? Because when I look up on this wall, I see a lot of achievements, masters, bachelors, and just high school diploma. My favorite certificate though is winning Mr. Laid Back for my students. That means the most. That was the hardest one to get. Honestly, it took me like 10 years to get that. I wish I could show you, but if I can do that, I can. What can I do if I put my mind to it? So what is it within me that is telling me that like this is not something that I deserve? Is it the financial freedom that it could come with? Is it the abundance of being able to really change my life and other people's lives by what I'm doing? So I think this is a reading about self-worth, self-acceptance, and self-love. Because without those three, it's going to be very hard to like navigate in this world according to higher self and higher mind we want. It wants us to love ourselves. So like, if you find yourself Two of Swords in reverse, clearing out the confusion here. I love this card in reverse because to me it symbolizes exactly what I'm saying. The Two of Swords in reverse in the Tower is cutting through, and it's no longer being indecisive. Sorry, here about what it is that you want. And sometimes the best action is to take no action. Stay put. If you don't like that job, maybe because you don't feel like you should be deserving of it, stay put. If you just signed up to go back to school and you're struggling and you feel like you need to drop out, stay put. If you feel like you don't deserve to be in this relationship and like this person doesn't like you and you should just cancel your date, stay put. This is my message to you all, is to, I have made so many decisions from a mindset of being afraid, right? And when I do these things, Queen of Swords and the Star, you need to, this is what we are becoming. This is what we are becoming. We say what we want, right? Doesn't necessarily have to be cruel, but we say what we want. We cut through the bullshit to get to the truth because we desire and we hope to live in a world that's more peaceful, where everyone can get along, where it doesn't have to be lack or want, where your desires are possible and no one is trying to manipulate you to get to them. This is who you are becoming. You're telling people what you want and how you want to be treated. So this is, hey, I've noticed that like over the last couple of days, your patterns have kind of changed from what you wanted. We were talking a lot more, and I understand that maybe, work is coming up and stuff like that, but to not text someone multiple days and then just say that, oh, you're busy with work. You could send a, hey, I'm busy, I'll hit you up later. That's something that, you could do. I'm not saying you have to go and say all of that, but I'm saying notice how people respond. Notice how people treat you when you show up for yourself in a more direct way. And you're like, hey, you know what? I know I promised you all that I could, do these, but I don't know if I'm in the right mind space right now to do all of that. Is it okay if I kind of just like feel this out for a little bit longer, and then maybe once I'm in a better headspace, I can do that? Like, I'm so used to like people trying to, which is crazy because I'm like people are like, oh, you're so big. Like, how are you? Like, because I'm like big 6'2", like, 250 pound dude. Like, I'm not like a little tiny little, like, people are like, you're so, like, how do you let people bulldoze your around? Because I'm really just a nice person, and like, I love helping people, and like, there's people who take advantage of people like me. They know people like me exist, and they want to get what they can from people. And I'm not saying I'm perfect. Have I ever used someone to get something that I wanted? Yeah, it doesn't make me feel good. We all do that to some extent. Like, my job, half of my job is calling people and trying to get them to, purchase our products and do whatever we have to do to get them into the seat. And it's not to be like malicious or like, it's, or like, like trickery. 10 of Cups in reverse. So, you could be afraid of, I feel like this has to do with like your family. You may need to get away from certain family members, certain people who have a limited mindset, a non-growth mindset, and maybe that is something that's also stopping you. Maybe you energetically feel that as you go into this direction in your life, you're going to start to kind of like veer away from certain people that you love, and that may be kind of difficult for you to like fully sit down and express, because I mean, who wants to say, hey, I think, our paths are no longer aligned, and that's a hard conversation to have. Can I get some clarity on this last, okay, not that much clarity. That's too much clarity. You see, I can be silly, and I can be goofy, and I can also be really chill and just like low-key. 5 of Swords. Yeah, there's a conflict here, and I think this is all, it's surrounding your family dynamic here, and I think a lot of this trickery, this mental mind gymnastics, this internally negative dialogue, it may have came from certain influences from like childhood. The 6 of Swords and the Death card is like you trying to like reconcile your childhood, perhaps, maybe. It's a lot of stuff came up right. So I feel like you're clearing a lot of negativity from around you. But this 5 of Swords energy is definitely like it. You're gonna have to make a decision to like maybe walk away from some people who you love. It doesn't necessarily be like your actual family, but you could be afraid of losing some people in your life that you really love if you continue to go down the path that you're going down, whatever it is. I don't know. Maybe someone gets jealous of you. Maybe people start to feel like you think you're better than everybody. Maybe some people will start to rely on you more and just assume that maybe you can be more of a, ATM, and maybe you don't feel like that's the role that you are sent here on earth to do, is to play everybody's ATM machine. Because what's wrong with your hand? Why can't you go to work? Why do I have to do everything? No one stopped you from living your best life when you were doing shit. Yeah, and here's the 8 of Coins. So you put in the work in the past. You've done the healing. Like, you could be someone in your family who you've gone to therapy, you've done the self-healing, you've done all that crap, right? And like, you still do it because it's a never-ending cycle. Anyone who's like, I don't care what anyone says, I know that I will be in therapy probably for the rest of my life, because do I need to go to therapy? No, but I enjoy it. I love talking to my therapist. He's a good person to ground me when I get, into these moods and things like that. And I haven't been, formally diagnosed with any type of, mood disorder or anything like that. I don't think it's anything like that. I think it's very, like, I'm in a transitional period in my life. I'm switching careers. I moved into a new apartment. I'm just in a new environment. I don't see the same people I used to see every day, and that's really like, that kind of hurts a little. And when it's just been a lot for me. And I'm not trying to sit here and vent and tell my whole life story on YouTube, although like, I'm also not opposed to doing that. But the Nine of Wands and the Lovers here in reverse, I feel like there's a need for you to lower your guard. Lower your guard. And like this Lovers, to me, it isn't like outside love. This is inside love. This is self-love. You need to fall in love with the parts of you that you don't think are lovely. I'm a little bit of a scattered brain, okay? Like, I get scattered brain, I get clustered, I get flustered really easily. I do have ADHD, and I take medicine for that, and sometimes I feel like I don't know if that's helping or making it worse, but I know that I'm someone, like, if I have a lot of tabs open, and I do, I have several open windows, and then trying to be a people pleaser, trying to make everyone happy, making sure that other people feel like, but you know what? I read this thing, and it was like, people pleasers are really secretly like covert manipulators, because it's not really about what they want, it's about how you look. That's really what, and like, I had to think about it for a while, because at the end of the day, I'm only doing these things because I want to save my face. I don't want you to think that I'm a shitty or bad person, but I don't really want to do it. So I'm just creating resentment, right? So that's the resentment that I have to deal with when, someone calls me and asks for $50 or $100 or whatever, and I really don't want to give it to them. You know what I mean? Because it's the 4th time you've asked me that this year, and I mean, I have it to give, and you'll probably give it back when you can. It won't be exactly, but it's the principle of like, you're constantly in this dilemma where that like, you can do something. Maybe times are hard, right? And I'm very giving. I'm very giving. I'm a very giving person, and like when I'm in a state of abundance and flow, like, I'm not worried about lack. Okay, so this little $100 that you need, I'll get it back. The Lord, the universe, God, whomever, I'll get it back some way. And I normally do. I always do, with interest. And like my brother, he asked me for $100, and he said he'd give me $125 when he got paid. And I said, dude, no, like, it's like a couple of days, just give me $100 back. Like, that's stupid. When my certain family relatives, I don't want to put all their business out, were staying with me, I didn't charge them a penny to stay with me. And even though, it was a pretty small space and it was just a couch, it was free. I wasn't like, I was going to have to pay these utility bills with or without you. You weren't adding anything extra to my, like, expenses. Maybe a couple, a few bucks here or there. But I didn't really expect anything from them, because I like, you're going through a hard time. And I remember being like, what would I need? And like, I didn't have somebody to always be there for me when I needed extra help. And I don't necessarily feel like I have a safety net. So I have to be super cautious with everything, because, if something happens financially, I'm screwed. That's why I have so much. Yeah. And it's crazy that I work in. But it's the irony of it. This is teaching me what I need to do to unstick myself, because my pride wouldn't let me ask people for help, because I didn't want to hear the rejections of the no's, or the, no, I can't help you, I'm sorry, or the trying to lord it over my head, or, oh, well, that's why I always have to do it. Like, I didn't want to do that, and I don't do that to other people either. Like, if you don't, or the few times I did have to ask for some, assistance, it would always be like, and that's the ego. It would be like, well, what you need it for? How you did this? How come you did it? Can you just give me $20 now, please? Like, I don't want to have to explain why I need $20. Like, can you just please help me out? I just, you know what I mean? It's almost as if like, it's like a what's it called? Humiliation ritual of like, well, if you want this, you have to go through this. And I was like, okay, and then you start taking out payday loans, and then you gotta pay $1,200 back for $400, and it's just, I made so many stupid decisions when I was a kid, and when I mean kid, I mean like in my early 20s, because my pride and my arrogance didn't want people. Yeah, Six of Wands. Something feels like a hollow victory here. You know, seeing through this illusion, seeing through this is not going to heal everything in you. Okay? So, like, I think that's another thing, is like, do you want to surrender everything that you love about yourself for the illusion of security is what I'm hearing? You're already safe. Yeah. There could be someone here someone that you walked away from. It could be like a maternal figure or something here, is what I'm seeing. The Queen of Cups in reverse, the Eight of Cups. You could have walked away from somebody here. And it's not like an easy walk away. It wasn't easy. It was very hard. And this person is holding on to it. They could be, maybe they're not saying this to you, but this person could be waiting for some karmic thing to happen to you. Like, they're like, oh, well, you know, you think you're better than everybody because you didn't, you know, da. And it's like, you ever hear that thing, like, you know, the more you help people, the more they resent you. And I think that's kind of what I'm kind of experiencing a little bit, or what I have experienced. And I'm not trying to be like, you know, show like I'm a very simple man. Like, I don't wear designer clothes. You know, I give you this necklace, right? This is very simple. This is just a simple, pure silver. It was like, I got this when I was visiting a friend in Maui, and it just like, I just add like these little pieces on them. I could take them off. This is just a simple silver chain, pure silver. You know, I wanted the gold one, but I was like, I ain't got gold chain money, like gold. It was like $1,700. And I was like, ugh. How much is that silver one? $2 something? Yeah, let me get that one. 22, yeah, that'd be good. That's a good size. Let me see. Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't need it to be the big. I do want me a nice Cuban. I do. I'm such a nigga. I want me a nice Cuban. I want, like, as soon as I start making my money, for real, when there's like this, when this business show up, when I get out this little funk that I'm in, but I feel like I'm gonna get my Cuban. And not to show off. You know, I'm somebody, I always used to tuck my chains a lot, especially at work and stuff, because, you know, it's work. But I'm not somebody who's like, oh, I want you to see I'm super flashy. This could have been a $3, you know, bubblegum ring chain. Although it would have definitely turned my neck green, because I'm very sensitive to, like, I have to have surgical steel earrings. And this is 10 pack of these little fake diamonds off Amazon. Oh shit, I need to clean these. Ew. Clean that. Okay. I'm not putting real diamonds in my ears. I sleep in this shit. You know how fucking many nights I just pass out and I don't ever I ain't got time to be losing no real diamonds. If you don't go ahead and get that 8-pack with the surgical steel back off Amazon for $9.99, because you're going to lose them. They're going to get bent. You're going to fall asleep in them. You know what I mean? They're earrings. But some people like what they like, and I can't. Hey, if you got like that to be dropping it on, you know, 20, probably not 24 karat. That'd be real soft. I probably want to do like, I don't know, like a 12 or a 14 karat. But that's gonna be real expensive. You know, if I was to do a diamond in my ear. But like, so many people over here walking around with these big fake ass chains, and like, I remember, you know, I'm like in my 30s now, and I was younger, I used to have like the big fat ones. And now when I see those big fat ones, I'm like, oh my God, it looks so fake. And like as I got older, I'm like, get you something smaller, a little more, you know, because the little smaller one, that looks more, okay, that might, you know what I mean? Them big fat, I'm like, okay, yeah, come on now. Come on now. You know, but I feel like you are somebody who is very, you know, you're not impressed by money. Like money and having wealth, that doesn't impress you. I mean, it would be nice. You know, it is nice. It's comfort that you really seek. The money is just, you know, how you could get to it. But what really stands out to me in a person or personality of people or like how they treat people. And I'm not saying that rich people can't be nice. I know lots of really nice rich people. And I know a lot of really, you know, unkind wealthy people. But, you know, I can't say more which are fall into that category. But I feel like it's all about how you see yourself, and then that's how you like relate to other people. So anybody who's like super condescending and like, you know, dismissive and rude and nasty, that's somebody who, in my opinion, has like this deep, deep insecure, like inferiority complex, or like this just a lack of empathy for a large percent of people. But I'm a very empathic person, or empathetic person, whatever you want to call it. So I try to put myself in other people's shoes. And do I pop off? Yes. Queen of Swords, but I say it. I've learned how to say things in a way that's honest, direct, and it's not malicious or mean spirited. You know, you don't have to name call somebody. You can just say, hold on, I got an example today. This is somebody who I was dealing with, and they were being very inconsistent with how they were speaking to me. And I was just very, you know, this is what I said. Hey, listen, I'm not sure what kind of mind games you're trying to play. It's like you want me to chase you or something, and I'm not interested in playing games. I'm going to just move around. I hope you do well, man. Take care. Your behavior is not something I like nor tolerate. Be well and God bless. And then I said, you know, some of the things you said on day one are not aligning with your behavior. You talked about wanting loyalty and all this, but the minute you come over, or the second time you came over damn, you sit on the apps, and I know you weren't looking for anything serious, and I'm okay with that, and not even sure if I do myself, but for you to just be like, hell no, like this is, to reference to the hell no, this person has sent me a text message early this morning telling me that they were like, you know, in the mood. And I was like, oh, well, I have to go to work at like 8:30, and it was like 5 something. And I didn't wake up till like 7. So, you know, that kind of threw me. And then they responded, you know, just because I'm horny doesn't mean I have to do anything about that. I expressed that because I thought you could handle that information. I'm not looking for anything serious until I am. Okay? Just like when I chat with you, I'm chatting with folks on the apps. It's not a sex thing for me at all. I've been very consistent since day one, so much so that I never even revisited sex with us. I don't need it. But if you doing all this and we haven't messed around, this is a huge red flag I should pay attention to. And so, like, to me, you know, if I was back in my early 20s, I might have like fallen into this shit. But, you know, me and ChatGPT, we had to have a conversation about this. And I asked it, like, you know, what am I missing? How can I see this from their point of view? Da, 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 da. Like, I'm not just like, oh yeah, gas me up. Like, no, like, help me understand where this person's mind is coming from. And then, so I'm like, you know, I'm not a red flag for voicing how I feel when I think I'm getting mixed signals. That's just me being honest. If we're and this isn't what Chat GPT told me to say. I didn't like all the responses that it gave me, so I just kind of like said, I'll take a little bit of this, take a little bit of that, and I'll put my own little zhuzh on it. And I said, that's just me being honest. If we're not on the same page, that's fine. But I'm not going to accept being blamed for your mixed signals. If you aren't looking to explore sex anymore, you didn't tell me that. Oh, why didn't you tell me that? From my POV, you want to have control over the situation, and I just want to have clarity so I can move accordingly. I'm not upset or anything. I'm just confused and disappointed because I like our conversations. If you want to be friends, no sexual things, why tell someone you're horny at 5:35 in the morning? You don't think that can be confusing? At the end of the day, I am no longer wanting any type of relationship at this point. You don't seem to be someone that honors how other people feel. You playing with people on Jacked was a red flag for me. You weren't on Jacked the entire time the first night we hung out. But after I stopped to go check, you changed on me. I'm open about my feelings and I don't have a problem telling people how I feel. Rejection happens and yes, it hurts, but it's better to be up, I probably mean to say be upfront and honest. But when you're really typing on, you're not looking at every word. Try and get your lick back by being rude to someone when you don't get what you want. That hell nah was very rude and you meant it to be that way. And very much so. And like when on the first night, was it the first night? The second time. I can't even remember how many times we hung out. We hung out like a couple of times. We hung out the first night. We hung out the other nights. Probably like 3 or 4. We were hanging out a lot. Like we were seeing, and it wasn't like anything sexual. It was just we had gotten to a point where we were about to go to a different mom, parents, anybody. If you know me, turn this part off right now. But we were getting into like that intimate moment, and like in the middle of it, I was getting like self-conscious about back there and stuff. So I was like, let me go to the bathroom and like check everything, make sure and I guess they have apparently that was so bad to this person that they completely just like and just left. I didn't put up a fight. I didn't I was just like, okay, well, if me making sure that I'm okay with my body is something that in the middle of it, if that was, and I'm telling you I'm gonna go do this, and you're just kind of like keep, and I never even, nothing happened, but I was just like, he got up and left, and in my mind, this is the 20-something, like, no, stop, come on, I'll just, we'll just do the, I'm like, lit them. That's all I could think of was that Mel Robbins lit them. If you want to go, go. If you want to ruin this evening, if I ruined this evening for you by doing that, I apologize, but I just wanted to be sure, and I wanted to be, clean, and that was something that I needed for my own self. And if you can't respect that, then that means that you don't care about how I show up and how I feel about my own body in like this intimate moment. So that was another red flag that I overlooked. And so, but also when these events were happening, I was like, okay, this is someone who I definitely I can't see myself, ever having a serious connection with, because that is a big, you seem to not really care about my boundaries or what I need to feel safe. And in a connection, I don't care if it's a man and a woman, woman and woman, man and man, both parties need to feel secure and connected and safe. So if me addressing something about my body is alarming to you, or it was displeasing in the timing of which it happened, I apologize for that. But to just basically disregard how I'm supposed to feel about my own body, and then be so we can't have a conversation, we can't talk about it, you just leave. That was a very telling sign of this is the kind of person you are. You want to have these manipulation and these mind control and these games that you want to play, and just my Mars is in Gemini. So when I say move around, I'm telling you, like, I'm already playing these games back with your ass because I could play with them too. And so I think this person wanted me to chase them, and when I didn't chase after them, that created some contingencies in them, because now, this person was, and we were like, the next day, we talked about the situation, and then that's when the whole, you just want to come over, and like the first thing you do is like you start playing, and like you're scrolling on the apps, and you're like, look at this guy's butt, look at this, and I'm just like, okay, you're trying to make me jealous, and like, I've been in therapy for like 8 years. This is not gonna work on me. This is not gonna work on me. Like, was it irritating? Yes, but I knew what this person was trying to do. It was actually more disappointing because it was very like, wow. Just because we had such amazing conversations. He was a very educated, he was a very like just nice person, I thought. And like, we just had a lot in common. We had similar like upbringings, and I was just feeling like this connection, and I was like, you never really can tell. And like I've noticed that, like, especially with like other black men, I don't really know. I'm dated outside my race, within my race, pretty like, I would say 50-50, 49-51, whoever knows, who cares. But there seems to be like this need to want to have control instead of want to understand. Like, oh, well, you didn't want to do it when I wanted to do it, so I'm leaving now. Or you wanted to do something that I wasn't ready for you to do when y'all wanted you to sold. Or if I'm asking you for like, so like, what are you looking for? Or you just trying to like, you trying to you trying to be in control because you trying to like, basically withhold whatever from him, as if you're like obligated to have access to somebody until they have a secure understanding of what it is that you're seeking. And I'm telling you, like, hey, I could see this kind of potentially, if we continue, and this is like the second part, but I'm just like, where's your head at? Like, what are you looking for? Are you wanting something more casual, or do you trying to like, what do you want to do? And, they're like, oh, because the first night it was like, I'm about loyalty and respect, and like, if my person's my person, they gonna, like, like, they're trying to like sell themselves to me. And then second, third time, it's like, oh, okay, you're trying to push my boundaries and see what I'm willing to accept. Got you. Okay. You're a manipulator. And then I just very kindly, they sent me that text about the whole, oh, I'm horny in the morning. And then, throughout the day I'm at work, and then, he's, oh, how was your meeting? It was boring, da-da-da-da. And then I leave work, and I'm like, yeah, I'm tired. And he was like, oh yeah, I'm sleepy. I'm just under the bed. And I was like, oh, you should come over and take a nap with me. Hell nah, LOL. And I was just like, that was so, it just like really hurt my feelings, because like, and I know I sound like a big old baby, but it's like, it's true, because like I shouldn't have, I was walking right into it. I mean, this is exactly what they wanted to do. They wanted to tear me down, even though they genuinely, whatever, I don't even process that. But it's like, why tell somebody that in the morning, and then when I say, well, hell no. And that's why I'm like, you know what? I don't know what kind of mind games you're playing. I'm not into this kind of stuff. Like, I'm too old, I'm too grown. There's too many people in this world to be upset because somebody is like trying to like win this invisible war because you think I'm playing. And maybe I was kind of playing a little bit, but it wasn't necessarily, no, I'll admit to that. I was playing along. Guess what his zodiac sign was? Cancer. I don't know what it is about me attracting Cancer men who act like that, because there wasn't, this is a more aggressive version of what, because that person, Jesse, he didn't do anything particularly wrong. I just handled the situation I won't say like I was like a crazy like it was just more so like, okay, well, I told you how I felt. You said, you, for whatever reason, maybe he didn't say it overtly, but like his actions were showing that he was not reciprocating, and I moved on. And then, but we stayed in touch as friends. So, I was seeing someone else for like 8 months or so, but we would like have, dinner or hang out, and it was platonic. There was nothing, anything, like that was going on. Even though like I did have like an open thing, but that was its own messed up. That's another story. But nothing ever happened with that situation. And, like, it was just so interesting. Like, this person tried to play like this game with me in my mind, because the minute I'm like, yeah, me and so and so broke up. Oh, you want to go swimming at my apartment next week? Sure, why not? And then it's like all of that. Nothing's happening. I'm not doing anything. Like, you're not. I know how this goes. Like, you're not going to just get access to me, and like. Because I've been that person. I've been that cheating, no good dog motherfucker. I've been that nigga. I have. Like, bitch, you talking to the original. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I have been on that other side. And this is probably my karma in some regards. You know what I mean? This is what it's like when you have done this to people. But I've grown and I don't do this behavior no more. And, like, that situation was just, like, all over the place. Like, gosh, I had such a crush on this man. Like, oh, my God. And, like, it was just the inconsistent, like, texting, communicating. It was, like, we'd see each other, like, maybe, like, once a month. And there was nothing, anything, like, graphic or anything even explicit. Never even, like, kissed. It was maybe just, like, a hug. It was literally, like, two friends. And I guess throughout this, but it was just us. It was never like we hung out with other people. He invited himself to my birthday party, which in my head, I was like, oh, that means he wants to like, I think he just wanted to scoop out and see what else, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just putting all this shit together because I'm like, damn, like people be out here just plotting, like, and I'm just trying to be like me. And, I was guarded because I really thought this was and I still don't think he's a terrible person. I think that he would never make me feel safe. I don't think that this is someone I would feel secure with, because I'll get to this part. Because if I'm sitting here telling you after and I could see maybe looking back on it, like, dating somebody and still hanging out with you, you didn't seem to have any reservations about that. You seemed to be like, you were happy for me. You said that you were happy for me and my person. So like, I thought that was that. And like, was I trying to flaunt that person in your face? No, it was more so like, listen, you were like on some bullshit. This person stepped up. They were being concise. They were being clear what they wanted. And I went with that person. So now it's like you flipped the switch. That's what you really did. See, this is why I gotta talk to y'all, because now I'm starting to, as I talk it out, I'm putting it together. Because then when we were like in like that, like, neutral friends place again, neither one of us was seeing anybody. And I had been, I had no apps, no anything. I was abstinent. I was like not doing anything like that. So I'm just talking and conversing with this person and whoever else I was, talking to. Really nobody. I was focused on work and like getting my life together. So through this period, I was like, okay, you have to tell them how you feel. You just have to tell them. And so we were walking back from where the hell were we? We were in the Loop. And it was actually so cute how it started. I was like, he was like, yeah, like, he said something about like, you're just like, you're just like so. He said something like, you've really changed, how I see things, and like, I'm really glad to have met you in this city, because he's not from where I'm from. And I was like, thank you. It's been a pleasure being a friend and being here for you. And we're walking back, and then he's like, like, I'm just kind of jealous because like you could just be so open with your emotions and just like tell people how you feel. And it's like, and I was like, yeah, I mean, I'm Pisces. It's like, I feel things so deeply, and it's like, I don't know what I said exactly, but I was like, yeah, I have And I was like, I have really deep feelings for you. Like, I didn't know how to tell you this, but I was afraid of rejection. But I didn't say all that, but I was like, I have deep feelings for you. And he just kind of like looked at me. And then I quickly changed the subject, like, yeah, so you want to go see Sinners, like, in a couple of weeks? Yeah, let's go do that. And I was like, okay. And, we gave a hug, and he went to his car, and then I walked back to my car, and, I think the last thing we did together was we went to go see Sinners. Wait, no, was that before or after my birthday? No, that was before my going away party. So we did see each other at the going away party. But then maybe like once or twice, maybe. No, I don't think I saw him after the going away party, because I told him I had to start studying for my exams so I can get this job that I'm crying over now. And I'm sitting there studying for my exams, right? This tarot video just went left, so this turned into story time too, so it's okay. But we get there. I'm texting him about what's going on, and I'm like, I'm just so stressed out about this test and and like I'm just nervous. I'm like, what are you doing tonight? Oh, I'm going on a date. Oh, like when I say like that shit fucking hurt so bad. Like that shit hurt so bad. Like it was like, and obviously looking back at it, at the situation, looking back on the situation, I mean, this person was never upfront. It was very like sporadic communication. Like it was centered around, our communication was always centered around an event or what we're doing. It wasn't like, hey, good morning, what's up? It wasn't like daily. It was just very like, oh, you want to go do this? Oh yeah, let's go do this. And it was a lot of times it was me driving the narrative. I mean, there was times when he would, incentivize, I guess, if he was bored or whatever. But for like that, just like it fucking cut up, fucking like it, boom. And I was like, and I just laughed because I was like, of course, when I'm like at my lowest, I'm studying for this exam, I'm not feeling good, I'm like trying to handle this and like just everything that was going on, like leaving teaching and trying to deal with this and figure out where I'm going to be living in the next couple of months, and like of course this is what happened. The thing that I was like, he was this for me, like that was my this. You lost the real one, nigga. You really lost the good one. You lost the good one, Jesse. You lost the good one. You lost the good one. You really did. You really did. I dodged the bullet though, but you lost the good one. I dodged the bullet, but you lost the good one. And that really bothered me. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so happy for you. He said, yeah. And he said something about like, basically to the extent of like, I guess he was insinuating that like I was putting pressure on him because I wasn't giving him, this is how I interpreted it. I don't know if this is how he interpreted it, but to me it was like, you wanted something from me, and I think we both know what that was. You weren't going to flat out ask for it, and I wasn't going to give that to you because I didn't want to be in that position where I'm like doing these things with people, but there's no true emotional. I was in this very like, I want to be connected to the person that I want to be with, and I was trying to, I would say date with intention, because was I talking to other people? I might have. I don't know. I mean, but we weren't dating, so it's not like I was like I couldn't talk to people, but I wasn't like. Anyway, and then also, just because I tell somebody that I have feelings for you, it doesn't mean I'm gonna just like stop my life and like just wait for you to figure your shit out. Like that's not self-loving either. It also doesn't mean I'm just gonna go around and just like try to find someone to like hold you in the place value until you're ready. Like I wouldn't do that either. So it was just, it just the way he communicated, and I was just like, you know what, take the high road. And I said, I'm happy for you that you know, and it wasn't just like a date, like, yeah, like we're dating. I was like, oh, you're dating someone. Oh, wow. Wow, that would have been like, why didn't you tell me that when I told you I had the, okay, wow. Yeah, it's been a couple of months. Well, I just saw you a couple of weeks ago, and like you didn't say anything about that. When I was dating somebody, I was like, yeah, so I'm dating. So I was like, oh, great. I didn't hide it from you. I was upfront about it, and ugh. That one stung. That one stung. That's Jesse's story. That one fucking stung. Oh, and that shit still burns. I'm almost done with this one though, because so after that, I think this was like Instagram. Yeah, we were on Instagram DMs, and you know what's also crazy? I didn't even realize this. I had known this person for like almost a little over 2 years, almost 2 years, and literally we were only communicating like Facebook chat. Like, didn't I have this person's phone number? And I was like, wow, it took me almost a little over a year and some change to get your actual phone number. That's how little this person was invested in me. And I was so like puppy dog. And I just thought that this person was just, I wasn't like, following him around like, oh my God, like, oh yeah, like if you say come, here I come, like, but I would have liked to have developed something, but it never worked out. And it just, let me get to the good part, or the better part. So this person is still, texting me, DMing me, but you're dating somebody else. And I'm like, how's your boyfriend? Oh, well, I'm like, this nigga ain't got no boyfriend. He just made that shit up because he's trying to. But like, maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. I don't care. I'm not going to look into it. I have to focus on me and getting this fucking exam. And like, I've been studying for like 2-3 weeks now. And like, this person's like, I think these people, they can tell when the energy is not on them anymore, and you pull your energy back, because now you never text me first. Like, if you do, it's like something stupid, right? Now you texting me, hey, what's up? I haven't heard from you in a while. What the fuck is this nigga? And no, I ain't no 2, 3, 4 texts in a row like some crazy girl. I ain't doing none of that. So if you're just gonna sit there until you say something back, and I ain't that bad. I ain't have it that bad. I am 30-something years old. Okay, I have a little class, a little dignity. The little bit of dignity I do have left, I like to implement. But I almost did crash out right here though, because I'm like, why are you texting me? Because you have a boyfriend. Why aren't you texting that nigga? Like, when I had a boyfriend, I wasn't talking to you like that. Well, I didn't need you. Hey, you talk to that nigga. Like, you talk to that nigga. Like, that's why you dating him, to talk to him, right? So you talking to somebody who you know has feelings for you, and you're like, hey, and it's like, okay, so you want, like, you like this, you eating this up, you eating this up. Because, like, I'm just like, oh, this is so hard. And I did the biggest big boy thing ever. I said, look, I have feelings for you, and I don't want to be disrespectful to whatever you and that other person got going on, which I'm not even sure exists, but whatever, I ain't telling you, what I mean? But I'm like, so I think I just need to not communicate with you. I think we just need to like go our separate ways, because it's going to be hard for me to move on if you keep communicating with me, and I need to like process this, and like, you're clearly not the person for me. Like, you're clearly never going to be a person. I can't say never going to be a person for me, because we don't tolerate this behavior in people. Don't let people do this to you, because this is manipulation. This is triangulation. Like, this is gaslighting, maybe-ish. It's very murky waters with me, and you know, crickets. And you know, it was just like these weird subliminal like posts back and forth, and I'm like, you know what? Instead of like crashing out, let me just block your ass. So I blocked him. I blocked him on Instagram. I blocked him on Facebook. I went into my phone, deleted the contact, deleted the thread, got on my iPad, deleted that thread on my iPad, on my fucking MacBook, blocked his number. Cause bitch, when I am done with your ass, I am fucking done with your ass. You gonna have to get a fucking what they call them, a seance to come fucking talk to me. Like, cause not only that, I blocked the people that you fuck with, that I don't fuck with. Chris and what's his name, his husband, they got blocked by proxy, but I already had blocked because I think they was in some triangulation shit. But sometimes I'll be watching like a little bit too much tarot video, so I think I just be like confirming my own like paranoia and shit. But when she was like, yeah, there's somebody, and they all like laughing in on you, I was like, I know exactly who that bitch was. I know exactly who that bitch is. I know exactly who that motherfucker is. And when that bitch, when she said Pisces Network, that is my girl. She be saying some wild shit though. Pisces Network. She be saying some wild. I love her. She is fucking hilarious. She said there was 3 people, and I was like, I know exactly who the fuck she talking about. I know exactly who them niggas is. And I went to my phone where I was blocked. I mean, I'm telling you, my block is, I block a motherfucker. That's what I do. I say my piece, and then I block your ass. Because you're not finna, there's too much. I got too much going on to be worrying about a nigga who don't want me, who want to play games. Like, maybe you do want me, but you really, like, trying to bull on some bullshit. And I'm over, and you know, I can pull cards too, bitch. I'm psychic, and I clocked his ass when I can go on and on. And I don't tell stories in a linear way. I tell stories in a, like, oh, okay, this is what happened at this moment, and this is how it relates back to this point in time. So just have to get used to that. That's kind of like how normal people talk, though. You know, that's how you know people are telling the truth. Okay, it's not scripted, and you can tell if someone's lying or not because Bose said this in one of her videos. You can tell when someone's telling the truth because when you tell the truth, it just kind of flows out of you, right? There's not a lot of like ums and well, oh yeah, and then like it's just kind of like, you know. And sometimes you have to go back and you have to fill people in on details, but it's not like oh yeah, that's right. No, it wasn't that day. It wasn't the no, you know what I mean? Like, it's like oh yeah, and then when we did this, da. So no way you can tell someone's lying or not. And like when people lie, people tell themselves, they look away, they scratch their neck, they start to look up and down. Like, those are really good ways to telling somebody's lying. And I'm just kidding. But that was a situation that just really sucked. And like I just remember being like so hurt because I felt like I just wasted so much time. I could have been focusing, and I mean half of the time I was focusing on myself. But it was this like love-hate that I had developed of like limerence. I guess it's limerence. I guess it would be called limerence, right? Isn't that limerence when you like create this fantasy about this person and who may or may not actually like you? I think it's limerence. But it felt so reciprocal at times. But I was like trying to justify it. But it's like, unless a person, and now I'm like, unless a person straight up says, hey, I have feelings for you and I want to see where this kid goes, I don't know what to believe. And even then, I still don't know what to believe. Limerence is an involuntary state of obsessive. Oh, okay, that was a lie. I don't know obsessive. Maybe, no. Intense infatuation with another person, often called limerent. Okay. It's an overwhelming and involuntary mental state, not a choice. A central feature is the desperate desire for the other person to return their romantic feelings. Yeah. The person's mood and self-esteem became heavily reliant on interactions with I wouldn't say all that. No mood swings. It wasn't like that. It wasn't like that. I mean, I do have an anxious attachment style, so it was more like the beginning of limerence. It wasn't full on limerence. It was like mild limerence, light limerence. But it just really just, and then this person, I just had like just one string of just bad luck after bad luck after bad luck. Why do I keep? I know why. I know why. It's because I am nice and I do give people multiple chances. And even though I see the red flags, I try to give people like, oh, well, you know what? Maybe this person is just, everyone has a past. Everyone has hurt. Everyone has trauma. And maybe they're just not. No, Eric, stop doing that. Because when that card came out, I know exactly what I'm doing. And it kept coming out. I would do a reading after reading and be like, he knows what he's doing. Bitch, he knows what he's doing. Like, he knows what he's doing. And I kept seeing that card. I just didn't want to believe it. I kept seeing the Eight of Cups and the Devil. I kept seeing the same fucking signs, and I kept fucking choosing to go into the situation. And it wouldn't even be like one or twice. It would be like, how does he feel? Eight of Cups. Damn. 2 weeks later, do the same shuffle. Eight of Cups. Man, that's crazy work. I think I'm going to have to break this up. I don't know if this can just be one tarot video. I'm going to do a tarot video, and then I'm going to do like a tea video or something. I don't know. But I say all that to say this. Loving yourself is not easy, but it is the right thing to do. And I feel like right now is a time for us to focus on self-love and where we can like improve upon that. Because until then, there's like this heartache, these heartbreaks, these like things that we're holding on to that we know we need to let go of, that's just not being able to get processed because we're feeding ourselves a lie, a narrative. Maybe it's, oh, this person likes me, but the true lie is, why do I need this person's validation? What is it within me? And that was the real thing. What's in it? What is within me that feels so strongly that if this person was to reciprocate how I feel, that would somehow prove that I am worthy of being loved by someone who I deem, lovable. I am, attractive. I am worthy. I am good. I am deserving. And it's like, yeah, you are, with or without this person. This person is showing you things that make you question that. That's not something to lean into. That's okay, you're unsure about what it is that you really want, and I may not be what you want, and that's okay. But don't keep me around if that's not what you want, or if you know what you know what I mean? Like if you know that, I like you and you don't like me, but you like that I like you because it gives you power to like, oh, well, I can get Eric to do whatever he wants because I know he likes me. Like, hey, let's go bowling. I want to go bowling. Okay. Boom, Eric will come. He'll do it. Oh, he's having a birthday party? Yeah, I want to go to your birthday party. Because you're gonna let me go. You're gonna let me go to your birthday party. I mean, it's just all my friends that you never met. I don't care. I'm an introvert. I'm an extrovert. I'll talk to them. Oh, okay. And I'm like, oh my god, like he really likes me. He wants to talk to my friends, and like. And there were just so many red flags that I just like, oh my god, just so many red flags. But I'm gonna have to take a break here because I can't keep talking about Jesse. Oh, and his real name is not Jesse. I can't say his real name, but it's not Jesse. Don't go looking this person up.